Hey everybody. I'm going to be doing a coloring stream today. I'm just not sure how good that's going to work. I keep getting kicked out of my Photoshop. But we're going to try it. We're going to give it a go. Let's see if I can find some music to put on in the background. See, Summer Fire. Do you like that one? All right. Just going to turn that down some. There we go. All right. Well, I'm going to be working on this page by Mario Williams for Cephas, issue number 1. It's a story about a vampire who gets left out in the sun by his coven, left to die. Only he survives, and because he survives, he comes back for revenge. I think it's a good reason for revenge. Homicide, attempted murder, good causes. All right. So I've got my top layer here. I'm going to set that to multiply. I just filled this bottom layer here. This is going to be my, I'll rename it here. This will be my flats layer. I don't know if I've ever recorded like from start to finish page. So this will be interesting. Might have to break it down into a couple of parts, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Didn't go to work today because it was freezing cold and there's going to be some humidity, some rain, some sleet, really. There have been a few accidents that I heard about on the news, so glad I didn't go. But Mario sent this to me earlier, just a couple of hours ago. And I thought this is a good opportunity to get some coloring done. So that's why I'm here. This is the exciting part, the flatting. Everybody loves flatting. Not. So yeah, the first thing I like to do is block in my shapes, my panels. I'm in the wrong. Yeah. I might lose you guys. Let me see here. Nope, I did. Good job. Amy. Ah, that's why. Hard light. Gotta make sure my brush is set to normal. Okay. There we go. I apologize to anybody who watches this and thought that coloring was really exciting. It's not. So sorry. But if you're here to learn something, I hope you do. I hope, if nothing else, you can learn from my mistakes. I'm using the magnetic lasso tool. What this does is it automatically finds the lines for you, sticks to them. It's really helpful. Sometimes it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do. You got to play with the settings on it to fine tune it. If you make it really sensitive, it can jump around a lot on you. If you make it a little too loose, might not grab what you want it to grab. But I like to use it as a way to get pretty close to what I'm after. Also block in shapes. I don't always use local colors when I'm flatting because I don't want to. I don't want to trap myself into what I'm going to do as far as colors go when I start to render. But what I'm going to do this time, though, is get kind of close to local colors just because. Oh, hey, Crenshaw. How's it going, man? Driving home from work. Gonna listen and learn. Ah, dude. I wish I had something to teach, Crenshaw. I am. Well, I'll teach what I know. I'll teach what I know. Have a safe drive home, man. Hopefully, it's not crazy like it is over here. It's all kinds of snowy over here. So yeah, like I was saying, the magnetic lasso tool is a pretty good tool to help me block in my shapes. Like I said, won't grab exactly what I want to grab, but it gets pretty close. It gets me there. And I was also saying that the reason I'm going to stay close to my local colors this time, even though I don't typically do that, is because I want to see how my foreground, midground, and background are going to play against each other. Each temperature of color, does a different thing. So you got your cool colors that kind of recede into the background, and you got your warmer colors that jump towards the front. And when you got a landscape like this that I'm coloring right now, it gets a little tricky. It's a little tricky because you got your sky, your sun, some mountains in the background, some foreground elements in front of those mountains, and then like a silhouette in the foreground. So thinking about those things as I'm starting to color here, as I'm starting to flat. All right. Here's what's tricky about this is the scene was supposed to be a train going across a desert landscape, and we had some cactuses in the foreground, or cacti in the foreground. I guess is the plural of cactus. Um, what the artist did silhouette both the cactus and the train. And so to create some separation, I'm going to have to use what's called a color hold or knockback. And that's where you color the black lines. So I'm going to have to flat those differently, even though you can't really see it because it's all black. Well, let's see. Crenshaw says, all our snow in Boise melted. Whereabout is over here. Oh, I am in Oklahoma. So we are undergoing some blizzard-like conditions at the moment until about 7 p.m. tonight. So it started first thing this morning, probably around 6 or 7 in the morning. It was already starting to sleet, and so now we're getting the snow in. So I'm guessing I won't be going to work tomorrow either, just because it's going to get down to like I think -1 or 2 degrees tonight, which means all that it's just going to ice over all that moisture that fell, which means it'll be even more dangerous tomorrow than it is today. And we're just not used to, we're not prepared for that snow here and all that ice and stuff. We're from the south. When it snows like that over here, we feel like the sky is falling. So, and nobody knows how to drive. That's the other thing. It could be one thing if, sure, it gets icy and stuff, but nobody knows how to drive. Everybody's like, yeah, it's all good. No need to slow down. Hey, what's going on, Dio? Soothing coloring with Mr. Benjamin. Yeah, dude, it's pretty chill. So, yeah, nice. Yeah. Hey, man, if you want to jump on, let me know. I'll send you the link. It's good to see you too, man. It's been so long since we hung out, dude. We need to hang out again. Like I said, if you're available, I'll send you the link. Just jump on. I can have somebody to talk to. That would be cool. But if not, I understand. You are talented as well as chill. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Cooking dinner for the fam, but would love to hop on again soon, brother. Yeah, definitely, man. We need to. It's been too long, Dio. You're a super cool and chill dude as well. I think that's why I get along with the little group of artists that I get along with, like yourself and Fabrizio and Jeff. Like, how you guys are just chill and cool. It's an honor to have you guys as friends and to have met you. It's one of the awesome things about our little group of artists, our little space of comics. Indeed, good dude. Does yeah? No, I got what you meant. Let's see, same here, brother. I agree. Yeah, yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, let me know when you're available again, Dio. I'd love to have you jump on the stream with me again. Well, there's a show called Content. A couple of chill dudes host it. Really? Is this your show? I'm guessing, Crenshaw. I will. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, man. Let me know. Me and that other guy here. Oh yeah, you and Dio. Yeah, you know what? I think I have seen. Your show. I might have subscribed already to that show. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out your episodes. I didn't realize that was you. I saw Dio with someone else, and I wasn't sure who that the guy was. So now I know that was you. Cool. Crenshaw, are you an artist too, or a writer, or just a fan? I mean, I guess all of us in this space are fans, but I'm just curious. Now, when I get really close, you can see those little specks of the yellow that leaked into the mountain here. Stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about with that magnetic lasso. It won't capture everything, so I'll have to go in and do cleanup later, but not right now. Right now, I'm just blocking in the shapes. I'm trying some writing I can doodle, but not well enough to count. I got you, man. Well, that's cool. I love writing. I love drawing. I love comic book reading, just in general. It's all a lot of fun. Well, that's really cool, man. I'd love to see some of your work whenever next time we hang out or something. We need to hang out sometime, dude, and have you on my show. Get you to come on here and talk. Talk about the craft of writing. I have a show called Word Slingers where I talk to writers and I really love doing that. I love hearing how other people work because there's not one right way to do it. There's just the right way that's for you. The only thing that matters is the story at the end of it all. It's looking nice. Thanks, Justin. Are you still working or are you off? Yeah. What's the weather like where you guys are at? Crenshaw says, been commenting on stoplights, being safe. It's ish. Yeah. Good, good. That's more important than commenting on my stream. Stay alive, Crenshaw. Stay alive and fight the battle. Fight the good fight. So Justin says it's cloudy and cool, but it's supposed to freeze tonight with heavy rain. Yeah, dude, it looks like Hoth outside. It's outside my door. It's just snow covered, ice. Wampas are walking around, hanging Jedi's upside down. It's crazy out here. Yeah, dude, Owasu Wampas are the worst. Especially the ones that shop at Target. They're so snobby. With their cup of Starbucks and their Chihuahua under the other arm. Driving their Beamers and Lexuses. Lexi, I don't know. What is the plural for Lexus? Lexuses. With Stanley Cups. I know, right? They're not even into hockey. Just a bunch of posers. No, I'm just kidding. I know what Stanley Cups you're talking about. Can you talk a bit about what you're doing and why you're doing it? I am coloring so the page is not black and white. Um, right now, I'm just flatting. I kind of explained it earlier before you showed up, I think. But yeah, I'm just blocking on the shapes, getting my flats done so I can go back and render it. It's the least fun part of the process. But it is very, very necessary. It's kind of like when you buy those paint by numbers, and it's got the numbers set up for you already. It's kind of like that. A lot of people think that flatting is like literally just laying down flats of the local color of what it's going to be like. And some people do color that way. You know, they just add shadow and light to the flats. And they're like, done. But it looks like it was colored by a 5-year-old. And that's not how I color. That's not how anybody should color. It was an old, early way of doing things because people were still figuring out Photoshop. And so they create like a multiply layer and add shadow and do like a highlight layer and got the lights that way. But that's because we didn't know how everything worked. But now that we do, you should color like real color. Give me a second, Justin, here. It was a glazing process for digital painting, right? Yeah, basically. I think it's also like cell shading. So like people would lay down a flesh tone color and then like a reddish brown purple color for the shadow, and using a multiply layer to make it dark. And but yeah, it just never had that 3-dimensional feel. I just never felt alive. It looked very dead. It just there's not a whole lot of life to it. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not a lot of art to that. I don't think. What do I know? What do I know? Nothing. It's just my opinion. I think that's part of the reason why I stay away from doing local colors when I do flats, like sky blue. Instead of doing blue sky, I'll do like a pink sky, just something crazy to get my brain thinking differently on how I'm going to render it. And the flats are just there as a map. Okay, yeah, this is really rough, so I'm going to go ahead and go in and clean some of this up. But yeah, that digital glazing process, it just looks very amateurish. And when you look at professional colorists, that's not how they color. What is local color? Local color is like there's some grass, and so mentally you're like, grass is green, so I'm going to color it green. And it doesn't, you don't take into account, like, okay, if it's in the shadow, then it's actually more of a bluish color. Or, and so you just color it green, and like you think of sky is blue, clouds white, just pure white. So that's what I call local colors. The guy's shirt is red, so you're going to color it just like a pure red. And you don't take into account like bounce light, rim lighting, and shadows. Like, is this happening at nighttime? If it's happening at nighttime, then that's not going to be a real red. Yeah, that's what I call local colors. Do you still use a lot of reference for coloring, or are you at a place where you can figure out how something should look with colored light sources and things like that? Yeah, I don't use a whole lot of reference anymore, and it's more because I've moved more towards like psychological color picking. Like, okay, how is this supposed to feel? Like, what's the mood that we're going for here? And I'll incorporate some of that color theory into how I color. And that's, again, it has to do with me. One of the reasons why I stay away from local color when I'm flatting, and I'll go with crazy colors. But for now, I'm using local colors. And I kind of explained it earlier. Like, there's some tricky parts to how this is going to work, and I can show you right here. Like, I've got the sun, this mountain. So the mountain needs to be darker than the sun. Actually, would have liked for that to have been silhouetted in black, and then we could have seen like the train. But because the train's a silhouette, and then I got these 1, 2, 3 layers behind it. Now I got to be careful with my color choices, right? Now I got to say, okay, how am I going to play this off each other? And it's not going to be black and white. It's going to be variations of temperature. So it'll be like cooler back here, probably, with this mountain, and gradually get warmer as it comes to the front. as we get to the foreground of the train. And I was thinking about using a knockback or a color hold on the train to separate it from this cactus here, but now I'm thinking I can't do that because if I do, I'm just thinking out loud here as I'm going through this. Part of coloring, like with all art, is problem solving. Okay, how do I do this? How do I make it work? If I do a knockback with this train color hold, all of a sudden, I think I'm going to lose the focus on that panel. So, yeah, I'm going to have to do a really strong light source right behind the train to make it pop more. Bring more contrast to it because your eye is going to go to where there's the most contrast. And so, again, these are the kind of problem solving things I think about when I'm at the flatting stage before I go in color. But no, it's more about like what's the vibe I'm going for, what's the feel. And so I don't use a whole lot of reference anymore. For this train, though, like this train, I probably will go and look at reference just to see what parts of this should be painted, what parts of this are just going to be like metal raw steel showing. So for that type of thing, I will, but not for like sunsets and stuff like that. Not anymore. I used to, but not anymore. But again, I think my mindset back then was, how do I make it look realistic? And I've moved away from that. It's not about looking realistic. It's just about how does it make me feel? And that's what I'm focusing on now. So I'd like to use my magnetic lasso for this, but I can't because there's too many cross lines and it'll jump onto those lines. So I'm having to use my regular lasso. It's a little tricksy. Is there anything that you dread having to color? Style, texture, etc.? I still have trouble with folds of clothing and stuff like that because I'm so used to my cuts being very sharp, and it's you have to have a more delicate cuts, I guess, softer cuts when you're doing that. And cuts are just like your lasso, your lasso grabs, I guess. It's another way of saying that. Like this right here would be a cut. But that's probably the only thing I could think of. I like coloring armor and stuff like that. I love coloring skin. Rocky textures are fun. Let's see. Are cuts a stylistic choice, or is that something all colorists do to an extent? To an extent, I think all colorists do a type of cutting. They'll do something called masking, which is essentially the same thing. You're blocking out what you don't want to color, only coloring what you want to color, and you're isolating that object. Cuts are like when you go deeper into the isolated item, so like highlighting a muscle, that type of thing. But masking does basically the same thing. I'm not going to say every colorist does it, because I know some colorists do have more of a painterly style, and they probably have little use for that other than masking out a certain object that they're coloring, so that it doesn't bleed too much into the next or neighboring object. Crenshaw says, just to be asking the good questions. I think I'm learning things. Well, cool. I'm glad. I'm glad it's helping you out. And thank you, Justin, for those questions. Must not be a busy day at work. Glad you're here. I know, like, once I get focused, I can be very silent and quiet, just doing my thing. So it really does help when you ask questions. Don't mean to ignore the chat. Justin says, I'm in a slow part of my day. Yeah. Those are nice. Yeah, but talk about cuts again. There was probably a period in the 90s, early 2000s, when the cut and grad was like the popular style of coloring, and that was you'd lasso. I'll show you. You could like lasso a section and then use your gradient tool to color just like that. And that's how you highlighted something. But for the most part, and that's a great style actually for superhero coloring. I think it still works good for coloring superhero stuff. But for the most part, people moved away from that and done more coloring with the brush. I do a mix of both whenever I'm coloring. I use whatever I need. Let's see. Justin says, "What's a good place to start if you want to learn coloring?" That's a good question. There was some books. Let me see if I can find one here. Right here. Let me blow this up here. Hey, what's up, Nick? Cool to see you, brother. All right, to answer Justin's question here, let me put myself on solo layout. This right here, this is a really cool book. It's called Master Digital Coloring. And I used this pretty early on. I eventually moved away from the stuff that I learned in here, but it's a great place to start. And it comes with a CD that gives you like special effects to use and textures and backgrounds and stuff like that. And those are fun to learn to use as well. I've pretty much created my own textures now, and I'll take my own photos of skies and backgrounds and stuff like that to drop in my background sometimes. But for as far as starting goes, that's a great place to start. And hold on, let me see. Did I? I don't think I gave you the name of the publisher here. Impact. Impact is the publisher, and it's written by Brian and Christy Miller, authors of Hi-Fi Colors for Comics. Jeremy Wagner says, "Much love, Ben. I got a roll, but popped in to hit like. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you, D-Wag. Cool book, yeah. Is that for any software in particular? You can use. There's different types of software. Photoshop is pretty much the standard for coloring, so it probably leans more towards Photoshop than anything else. But there's people who use like their iPads, and there's lots of new software out there. I really don't dig too much into all that stuff. I'm just pretty much stuck on Photoshop. And this is Photoshop Elements that I'm using. It's not even the good Photoshop. It's like the cheap one that I got for free when I got my Wacom in 203, which was like 16 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I still use the same Photoshop and it still works. Oh, thanks, Nick. Speaking of colorists, Nick is an awesome colorist. He did the first three issues of Can't Kill Cade and oh, Nick, what's the name of the one you're doing with oh wow, my mind just went blank. The other alternative book that you did. I'm drawing a blank. Feel so bad now. I'm gonna get back to flatting and hope that my brain will work again because it just hit the pause button. Yes, Red Koi, thank you. Yeah, Red Koi is a beautiful looking book, man. And Nick, thank you so much for the title logo you did for me, man. That looks awesome. Really love that bottom left one. We're gonna keep that one. That's something I wish I could do is graphic design stuff. See, Nick says, thanks, man. Tyler makes me look good on the Red Koi books. The challenge is restraint, not doing too much over his ink work. Yeah, and Tyler, dude, Tyler has been getting just better and better. Like from his first book to this last stuff that he's been showing off on X, dude. His work is beautiful. It's awesome. You guys make a good combo together. I love what you do with his work. All those textures that you put in there. Yeah, I hope you guys do that for a long time. Yeah, restraint's another thing to learn as a colorist because sometimes we can get too excited and do too much. I'm definitely guilty of that. I will over render something and throw in too many special effects and end up drowning out what the artist intended. Sometimes colors will cover up what an inker or penciler has done. What are some reasons a colorist might do this? Usually it's done if there's like a um, editorial change. You know, if they're like, "Hey, this person, I don't know, needs a shirt, and they're not wearing a shirt in the scene, so can you draw a shirt on there?" So they'll do that at the coloring stage, or if if there's some kind of editorial change. It's really the only thing I can think of. If that's what you're talking about, like when they completely cover up, completely mask something, it's usually to fix something. I have a habit of doing too much over my own work. I'm not happy with the line art. Yeah, yeah, I do that too, man. And it's it's like I'll throw in special effects, extra things in there just to kind of distract you from my mistakes. Like, don't look at this crooked face. Check out this cool J.J. Abrams solar flare in the background. I don't know. I don't know about you, Nick, but I have a hard time coloring my own work. I think that's something I've talked about with Justin before. How do you feel about that? Do you like coloring someone else's work, or better than coloring your own work, or is it no different for you? Curious. Crenshaw says it's looking good. I gotta go. Enjoyed the stream and the knowledge. You'll be receiving an invitation. Okay, cool, man. I would love to hang out with you, man. Just let me know. Appreciate you listening, Crenshaw. Nick says coloring my own stuff is very hard. I like coloring other people's stuff, although I've moved away from it pretty much, with the only exception being Red Koi. Coloring Kankokade was fun and challenging. Yeah, yeah. I wonder why that is, because I feel the exact same way. Like I'd rather color someone else's work than my own. Um, and it's weird. Like you think it'd be opposite because we know what we're going to do with the work once it's done, and so as we're drawing it, like we should be able to like play to our strengths as a colorist. But for some reason, me personally, I don't always do that. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. What's your theory, Nick? I want to push myself and the boundaries with my own work, but I'm my own worst critic. Yeah, same here. Nick, if you want the link, let me know, man. I'll send you the link. You can jump in here with me. When you really like or love someone else's work, it seems easier to color as all. Your motivations are different. It's not about you. You just want to make them look good. Or at least that's how I feel. Oh, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, there's been some artists that I've colored for that are not that great, but man, I've made their work look really good. Um, and I think that's definitely like a I don't know what you'd call it, like a not a goal, but like a motivation. Like you said, it's definitely motivating to be like, I want to know what I can do with this, especially just as a colorist, where you don't have control over the lines itself, but within the contours of those lines, within the boundaries of the lines, I guess. And it's really fun being able to amplify what you see. Yeah, and when you work with somebody whose artwork is even better than anything else you've worked with before, that's awesome. It's very motivating. Definitely brings out the best in you, I think. See, I've done a few minor things where the art wasn't real great. Those are harder. Yeah, I think when you have to color a whole book and you're working with an artist like that, where it's like, it's hard to because you're like, it's almost like finding a dance partner, right? Like you're the colorist, the line artist is your dance partner. Finding the right one that you gel with, and sometimes you don't get to choose because sometimes you're just a gun for hire. And yeah, I worked on a book like that, and man, each page I had to color was agony. And after that, I just started to be pickier with who I worked with because it's like, man, I don't need the money. It's great, but I don't need the money. If I'm going to do it, I want to have a good time. But coloring Tyler Wentland, I've done a couple of Geronimo pinups. Jeff Elkins, those are really fun. Yeah, yeah, those are all great artists. Tyler, Rob, and Jeff. Yeah, I love working with those guys. Actually, I've never colored a Tyler Wentland. I've colored Rob and I've colored Jeff, but not Tyler. Spare time to devote to comic stuff is really limited, so I moved to just making my own stuff, coloring red koi next time it comes around, and making your logos. Awesome! I'm glad you made some time for me, man. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. Like I kind of quit freelancing, um, except for when like of a fellow creator that I know like hit me up. Like recently, Mark Mulgrave hit me up to color one of his books, and so I was like, okay. So got done with that. So now I'm on to my own stuff. I don't mind helping other people out. It's just, yeah, time is limited, especially when you have a day job and you've only got evenings to work on your own stuff. Totally get that. Blessed to work as a graphic designer, illustrator, art director by day, so I'm not dying for more work per se. Only want to do it. It's for fun. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel the same way. How far along are you on Cephas? You're going to finish it before the campaign? Um, it's a good question. I'm not really sure. I'm probably going to hold off on the campaign until I've got all the pages in from the artist. He's got 16 pages to do. He just sent me the first one today, which is this one that I'm coloring right now. So if he can do 2 pages a month, I think we'll be okay. So I probably wouldn't launch until like August or so. But yeah, the plan is to have it done or like 90% done. But yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna have to push it back a little. My initial launch date was I think June 1st. What about you, man? How's your book doing? You working on issue 2? I've been working on Summerix number 2, but we've bought a new house in November. Did some renos. I have 2 houses just got moved. That one sold. Pending closing. I decided to take a break. Yeah, man, that's a lot going on in your personal life. Definitely take care of yourself first. Although I'm kind of working on a simpler side project for March of Optos because I can't help myself. Nice. Sometimes you just gotta create, no matter what. Let me know if you need any help with anything, man. I really enjoyed doing that sketch card for you. If you want more, let me know. And it fits in the Samrex universe. Very cool. That's always fun when you can create your own, build your own universe out, and throw in a bunch of characters in there, then have them cross over eventually. That's really fun. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. Like I said, if you need any help, just let me know. Samurai X is a cool character. I really like drawing him. Hey, Johnny says, "Hey, brother, looking good. Good to see you, man." You too, Johnny. If you want the link, man, let me know. I'll send it to you. Even Justin saying, "Johnny." Everybody loves Johnny. Johnny says, "Hey, Justin, hope you guys are staying warm and safe." Yeah, it's pretty chilly out here where we are, huh, Johnny? What's some coloring advice you would give to yourself if you were just starting out? Do better, stupid. That's what I would tell myself. Yeah, I think I would tell myself to study other artists, other colorists sooner than what I did. I don't think I really was aware of colorists like I was of pencilers. Like everybody knew who Jim Lee was. Even inkers, um, like my favorite inker at the time was like Stefano Guadiano when I first started learning about inking and stuff. But then like colorists, I was like I didn't really care about colorists. I didn't really. I mean, I was aware that comics were colored, but I wasn't really aware of who they were and aware of their styles and stuff like that. And so I kind of wish I had studied them sooner. Just like a penciler studies their favorite pencilers, I think colorists should study their favorite colorist and understand what it is that they like about those colorists. What makes that colorist your favorite colorist? Is it their color applications, their textures? Is it their color choices? So I kind of wish I had done that sooner. Johnny says, "Got to bounce. Keep up the good work. We'll talk soon." Yeah, definitely, Johnny. Love you, man. Stay warm out there. Justin says later, Johnny. Johnny says, "Love you guys. Love you too, brother." Is anybody out there seen the Captain America movie yet? Justin says no. Justin says I heard Red Hulk is in it for only a couple of minutes, which if it's true is kind of a bummer. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Heard it's not terrible. I've heard that it's terrible, so mixed reviews. Not terrible and terrible. I heard the Red Hulk can emit heat or something like that. And so everything around him burns. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't really know too much about the Red Hulk. I'll be honest. Nick says, I have a hard time wrapping my head around Falcon as Cap only because he's just a dude and barely in any suit of any kind. Yeah, I agree. Like if you're gonna wield the shield, you should be a super soldier. You should have super strength. To me, it makes sense for Bucky to be Captain America because he's got that robotic arm. At least. Yeah, how does he catch the shield when Red Hulk reflects it back at him? No idea. Good question. Yeah, I should slice his fingers off, huh? Red Hulk can emit a radiation blast, I think, like a bomb. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't know that about him. I just learned that from, I think it was like some, reaction video or something like that. Yeah, someone mentioned it, but I really don't know too much about the Red Hulk. That is cool, though. Yeah, I'm not against Falcon being the Hulk. It's not like a anti-woke thing for me. It's just I totally agree with you. Like if you're gonna wield the shield, you need to have super powers, super strength. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That would be cool too if he had like an Iron Man suit. Oh, like if he was the Iron Patriot instead of Captain America. That would be cool. Also heard that Giancarlo Esposito is only in there for a few minutes too, which is also lame if true. He's probably the best actor on there. It's like Harrison Ford. Justin says, I think it would have been a way more interesting character story if Cap believed in Bucky and gave him the shield. Bucky has to walk a path to be a good man to live up to Cap in spite of his past. Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been cool. And been cool if he decided to not do it, and then when they did Thunderbolts, Bucky was Citizen V. That'd be interesting. Thunderbolts seems more interesting. So y'all just punch and shoot, no one can fly. I like the self awareness. Yeah, dude, that's the one I'm looking forward to. It kind of makes me think of Suicide Squad a little bit, but I know Thunderbolts has been around for a while too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That's the one I'm excited for. Plus, I get to see Bucky again as the Winter Soldier. So I heard he's in Captain America movie, but just as a politician, which is kind of weird. Yeah, so it's going to be Thunderbolts versus the Void. Is that what the Sentry's other character personality is? His darker self. So that'll be interesting. Justin says, "Does anyone know if the Sentry will be a forgotten hero like in the comics?" I don't know. I don't know, but I think the last trailer made it pretty clear that he's going to be the villain. His the Void, which is I think his second personality. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to stop him because he is he's a pretty powerful guy. Like he's up there with Wanda Maximoff, I would think. Forget, was Sentry created by Bendis? Is he a Bendis character? So now he was in Bendis's run of Avengers. Yeah, I think it was Alex Ross. Like Alex Ross was the artist on it, but I can't remember who the writer was that helped Alex Ross create the character. Jenkins and Jay Lee on the book itself. Did they do a Century book? Uh, Justin says Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee with a little bit of Rick Veitch. Okay. Okay, I thought I remember seeing uh, Alex Ross do some artwork for it because they were making it look like a classic superhero from the 60s or something. But I must be remembering wrong. Created in 2000. Okay. I think he did it for concepts and promo posters. Okay. That must be what I'm remembering. I think you might be right because it was this whole dug out of the archives thing. Make a big deal like it was a real. Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to make us feel like we forgot about this character. Never existed. Lost Stanley creation. Yeah. It'd be interesting though if they did try to credit that to Stanley and totally jip Jenkins off getting any kind of royalties or thank yous in the movie. They had a whole interview with Stanley and everything. He was in the whole thing, as I recall. Oh, really? Wow. Stan. Oh, yeah. I remember when I made that. Yeah. That reminds me of the whole, was it IGN that did a skit of Stanley, like Marvel versus DC? Stanley was telling the stories. I threw a brick through the window. That's awesome. Yeah, so that's interesting. So they made a whole interview with Stanley and everything. Yeah, I threw a brick through the window. Yeah. Wonder if I can find that clip. I need to find that clip and play it sometime. That was funny. Nick says, gotta go. Have a great night, guys. Hey, you too, Nick. Thanks for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. I think I'm gonna take a break as well. I'm gonna call it quits, and I'll probably be back on later on tonight or tomorrow morning. So, yeah, it's been 2 hours, man. Making some good progress, though. Let me show what I've got. So the flats are almost done. Probably have like another hour to go on flats, and then I'll move on to rendering. So yeah, it'll go by pretty quick. I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. So I'll chat with you guys later. Thanks for joining me, Justin, Nick, Crenshaw, Dio, Johnny. Thank you guys for popping in. I appreciate you. See you later.